Spot on, spot off. Kyle Busch's cold reaction to Joe Gibbs following the Cup race after Toyota's comments regarding Busch's contract negotiations. Jason, you want to read that?
Toyota said, "We're in a bad place right now. We've got some tremendously heavy lifting in front of us." Freddie, spot on, spot off.
Freddie must have been in front of him
for his.
It's that choker. That's why you can't breathe right now. Take that. Jason, you got some scissors. We cut that choker off. She'll get her breath back.
As far as Kyle's reaction, I mean, for one thing, this is not really a surprise to see Kyle reacting this way after finishing second.
That was normal.
I think anybody that walks up to Kyle in that situation is probably going to get a similar reaction. But I mean, come on. Like, this is a guy, Brett. How much money has Joe Gibbs paid Kyle Busch?
$100 million probably. Plus.
How many wins? I mean, I looked it up last night. Kyle Busch has 147 wins in the last 15 years in JGR cars.
Wow.
So, like, when Joe Gibbs walks up, maybe you take a break from being pouting and being mad to, like, acknowledge the guy's presence at least. Maybe that's too much to ask for, but yeah,
maybe there's a bigger thing going on.
I mean, I'm sure that they're not happy with each other, but to that point, like, he's already paid him hundreds of millions. He's still making him offers even without sponsorship locked up for next year that Kyle's turned down.
He won't take it.
Yeah, so like, it's not like they're just telling him, "See you later, get out, get lost." They're trying to get him back. But it's just, I don't know how you don't even acknowledge the guy's presence after all he's done for you.
I was at Ray Evernham Motorsports back in the day, and we had a crew chief. And the crew chief left the car and was walking back to the hauler. And Ray was sitting in a director's chair. I was actually sitting beside him. And Ray said, "Hey, how's it going?" And the crew chief looked at him, and he didn't speak. Ray looked at me. He said, "Oh, my name's on the side of the truck, and this guy doesn't have enough respect to speak to me when spoken to." He fired him. He fired a crew chief. What Kyle Busch did yesterday in that video that I saw in NASCAR is disrespectful. Where is your gratitude, buddy? Where's your grace? Because you don't ever display any. So maybe that's why you're not marketable enough to warrant a $25 million sponsor right now. I'm sorry. Most talented guy in the garage? Yeah, he's one of them. Best personality for NASCAR? Probably. Last person I think NASCAR wants to see go away is Kyle Busch, because you don't need 100 Chase Elliott's. You don't need 100 whatever. You need guys that are out there doing what Kyle's doing. But, man, in that video, wholly disrespectful. I thought it was bad. Did you see it?
No.
You didn't see the video? I mean, he basically just ignores Joe. Joe walks up to talk to him, and he blows him off, essentially. He doesn't even look at him.
I do think there should be a respect level there for a guy that's done so much in the sport and
so much for you.
Like this, everything. I mean, props to Joe Gibbs for, doing that and because Kyle did run a good race, had a shot at winning, had a really good car.
Had the best car for 3/4 of the race.
Yeah, and not to saying if he was out front, they probably wouldn't have got around him either. So, but yeah, I mean, to me, looks like there's more going on than. I mean, I know Kyle's usually pretty mad, but to me,
to me, this is the week that Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota came out publicly and leveraged the media against this negotiation of, hey, we're working on contingency plans. Joe Gibbs, hey, it's really difficult. We've had a few sponsors come to the table, and they left negotiations. So it really sounds like we're at the end of July and they're at square one with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about this with your expertise, and I mean, I don't know last time you signed up a $25 million sponsor, but I know you've signed up, multi-million-dollar sponsors. Like, if you're in July and we're going racing in February, how in the world are you going to get somebody to commit $25 million in the next 6 months?
It would take a unicorn. The sales cycle on major NASCAR sponsorships right now is a year. And I know people hear that and they're like, what does that mean? It means from the time you meet someone and you do all these presentations and you go through the budgeting process and you have your executives meet Joe Gibbs and meet Kyle Busch and spend time with them and see your race shop, understand pit stops, because all sponsors don't know everything about NASCAR. By the time you do all the things that it takes to bring a sponsor in here, it's a year. in my experience. Used to be sales cycles were 3 to 6 months. Right now it's a year on these big ones.
Yeah. I mean, you look at, we heard rumors. I heard rumors yesterday that Gene Haas was there yesterday. This is not very common for him recently. He hasn't been in a lot of Cup races, I don't think. So maybe that ties into, I mean, that's where else is he going to go? I mean, it's the 18 or it's the 41. The 10's already got a driver, in my opinion. That guy's not retiring. It's the 41, it's the 18. I mean, you hear Trackhouse rumors. I don't think there's anything there.
I think there's 2 to 3 charters that are being available to buy.
Who's?
I don't think I should say whose, but I know there's 2 and there's potentially 3. But I also know there's more than 3 people, more than 3 organizations that want a charter.
Yeah.
So,
like who?
Well, I mean, Dale Jr., we know he wants charter, right?
Denny wants one.
We know Denny wants one.
I thought Kyle was coming.
I promise you right now,
to Dale Jr.'s.
Matt Collig would buy one because Matt Collig is Matt Collig. Awesome people to work for and a very aggressive businessman. If he had a charter to buy, he'd buy it. So I think there's a lot of moves to be made. But again, if you're going to buy a charter and you don't have a sponsor, how the hell do you afford Kyle Busch?
Yeah.
If he's going to make what he's making right now, and that seems to be the thing.
I mean, who can afford him? I mean, Gene Haas can.
Gene Haas can afford
if he wanted to. And is there anybody else? I mean, Roger Penske, but I don't really see him hiring Kyle Busch anytime soon.
No.
So, Gene Haas is the guy that everybody kind of has circled on this deal because he's the only one that can go out there. We've seen him do it with Kurt in the past, kind of run the Haas car all year long. Kurt was, his guy. That was his car. He stuck him in there.
Yep.
It might be a similar situation to that, and maybe you stick him in there hoping you can sell a sponsor over the next year. But there's no way, I don't think, that if Kyle sticks to his guns about having to make
I'm telling you
$10 million
right now, here's
so.
your struggle with Stewart Haas Racing if you go there. Kevin Harvick is God at Stewart Haas Racing. What Kevin Harvick says at Stewart Haas Racing goes. So I don't see a personality like Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. I don't see that going well.
No. Timeout. What the f- going on?
There's a huge ass spider right there, and it is
Kill it.
it is huge.
Choke it out.
It's a big mother. God. Can you see it?
Don't go near it.
What's he gonna do? Jump on him?
Yes, it jumps. Have you seen movies? Stop that.
That
right
is
now.
a big
TJ.
right there.
That is huge. That is the biggest spider. I think.
3X spider.
Yeah, 4X.
4X.
See, did you see it jump? See, it jumps.
It jumped because TJ stepped on it.
It jumped before TJ stepped on it.
If TJ kicked you, you jump too.
It's time for you to sell your home and make that big move. Let our friends at OfferPad remove all the worry and hassle. Get started today at OfferPad.com.